the main person, but I'm chosen for that. And I appreciate it, love it, and enjoy it. But sometimes I enjoy being behind the scenes, looking at the main people do what they have to do.
Word. Yes. Mm-hmm. See, that's what I like about you. You know, you're so confident with it. It's so unique.
Thank you. Well, see, that's why I say that, you know, I was kind of like a prince, because it wasn't this confidence that I have, it didn't come naturally. It was something taught to me, brought up in me. It's something that, you know, you can't buy it. You can't, you know, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna tell you da 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 da, and you're gonna do it. No, I had people around me who was like, chill, relax. You okay with that? You can deal with that. Or or like Kim would say, there was this one guy I wanted to deal with. Right? I didn't know he was on drugs. I found out he was on drugs, and it was so funny. There was this guy named Jamel Princess. He used to always bug me. He used to always bother me.
Word.
Now, Jamel Princess
was... That's a princess.
No. The princess was a demon. I say it like that. That princess was a demon. Okay? Jamel Princess was the ultra-legendary god of realness. Now, when I say that, this is how he would do realness. He would let everybody get up on there for realness, right? And because he was so known, and I'm going to tell you how he got known, and this was his stunt. They would say, is Jamel Princess in the building? Nobody would answer. Nobody would answer. And here we go, why? They'd say, okay, you. Okay, yeah, everybody else leave. They made their choices. Jamel would get up, wait and see who was the prettiest, wait and see who's the realness. He would knock out cold with one punch the realist and look at the panel like, who the fuck is real, them or me? And they would hand him the trophy and the money, and what he would do is then take the body of the person who he knocked out, throw him in a cab, and go fuck him. So you tell me, is that real or what? Terrible! That's real.
Wow.
So as far as it goes, that was the realness. And him, that was the one who honestly, I mean, when I said that princess is a demon, that's a demon.
Word.
Okay?
There's you know, now in ballroom, there's a lot of people that's like that, you know, in the world, in the ballroom, everywhere, in the club scene. But yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that was in the beginning,
well,
you know.
He was the first.
Neutral.
Yes. Right, he was the first. Right.
Wow.
See,
now,
that's it.
Let me ask you another question, okay? Who was the guy in Paris is Burning that walked the military realness and talked about the kids who get lost in the ballroom scene? When they leave the ballroom scene, they have to convince themselves that they're somebody, but then when they leave the ballroom scene, that's the problem, and that's where they get lost.
True. That was Saul Pendavis, right? He's a very, very good friend of mine. And I hope that you can, maybe take the time to talk to him, too, someday soon. Word. You know,
yes.
He is open to this idea of, you know, communicating with everybody in the ballroom scene and everything else. I think Saul still goes to balls from time to time as a judge.
Ooh, yes. How do you feel about his statement?
I see his statement. I see it so many times, especially when I did the HIV/AIDS work. I seen it a lot of times because, you know, doing outreach and social work, you're taking people off the streets who are, you know, in those situations, and you're trying to put them in a better situation. So, yeah, I see it. It happens, and there's those who we just try to help. That's it. I mean, at that time when Saul made the statement, he was saying it from the point of view of just the person who looks at it. Now, because he has his PhD and he is the doctor, he's at the point where he not only looks at it, but he tries to help. Just like so many other of the elite older Pendavises. We have 5 people in the house that are doctors now.
Wow, amazing. Shout out to the doctors in the house of Pendavis. What house was Saul in, by the way?
Saul was a Pendavis. Is a Pendavis, rather.
Yes.
Saul is a Pendavis, yes. He's Dr. Saul Pendavis,
I know that's right.
That's it.
Doctor.
Right.
I need a doctor. Is there a doctor in the building?
It's so funny. He laughs at it so many times. Like, I'm a doctor. I would never believe that, but that's it.
Okay, we have another question. It seems to be a little misconstrued. There's a rumor it was this one, it was that one, it was everyone in the ball. No one can seem to figure out, but who is the femme queen in the black brim hat on the cover of Paris is Burning?
The femme queen in the black brim hat of Paris is Burning. Let me pull out my unopened copy of Paris is Burning to see what you are talking about, because I think that's Pepper. Is it? Yeah, there it is. Jeez.
Some argue it's Paris Dupree. Other argue it is Angie.
Oh, that's Angie Extravaganza.
That's
Angie Extravaganza.
Yes. So it is Angie Extravaganza.
In the black brim hat is Angie Extravaganza. Next to her is Pepper LaBeija. On the other side is Junior LaBeija. Octavia St. Laurent is over me. Great friend Dorian Corey is next to her. And Willie Ninja is next to me. I loved working with Willie. He's a wonderful person. He was, God bless the dead, a fantastic person to work with. Let's put it like this. Willie Ninja, the longer he lived, the more the world was a better place. I mean it. It really was with Willie.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Willie Ninja in the House of Ninja.
Yes. True. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Shout out to my boy Adrian Alizea. Yeah. He was in Paris is Burning. He was the other boy with Willie with the In Vogue thing that Malcolm McLaren did. Most definitely. I'm seeing Willie here, and I'm just thinking, Adrian, oh, great, yeah. See?
Word.
He's another designer. He does a great 2 fashion shows in the year. He does a summer, and he does a spring, I think. Summer and spring, or winter and spring. Winter and spring, right?
Wow. Amazing. Mm-hmm. I wanted to bring up one name. What was up with David Extravaganza and Paris is Burning?
What do you mean?
They chopped.
David's a great person. He's fantastic.
What happened with the fur coat thingy in Paris is Burning?
Oh, there's always an argument about something. He has a coat. It buttons on the man's side. Someone wants to rig it so that somebody else wins. They'll say it buttons on the opposite side. And the whole thing's, he has to, just make it known that his is a man's coat. Because at the time, he had so many men's coats that were fur coats. So that's it. When you have many of one thing, people, like I said earlier, people always want to take you down when you have a level of fame.
Okay, I had my share of that. Wow. Okay, you know what? Let's jump into a real serious topic. Let's talk about, the early AIDS epidemic and its impact on the ballroom community, because, the children don't really know the real struggle about the AIDS and HIV epidemic.
Well, let's put it like this. I could say, okay, it was at a point. It was at a point where every ball you'd go to, you'd donate, for a cure for AIDS at one time. And as time went on, I know, and it was really hard because I'm just speaking for myself personally in saying this. I went to 40 funerals in over 2 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, my.
So it was like, what is this called? I remember hearing about it. It happened in an Asian, not Asian, in an Arab country, where they murdered off all of these people, and it was just horrible. So that's what happened. It was like everybody who was black and gay, and they were just being murdered off pretty much by this disease, and there was no help. Wow. There was no assistance. The white places made sure that they had support and they had programs and everything else, and you couldn't get in because there was only so many slots. And if you had a white lover, most definitely, poof, you got in. But if you were black and you didn't have a white lover, or you wasn't willing to be what they wanted you to be, then you would get kicked in your ass.
Oh no.
So shame. That's how bad it was.
Wow. Such a horrible experience, I bet.
Very, 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 very.
How are you feeling about this?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, I know 5 friends who, along with me, we kind of swore off sex. Some of us swore off sex and would go a year and then tell each other, yo, okay, cool, I've gone a month, gone 2 months, gone 3 months. And that was it. It was us 5, and we were a little support group. Wow. We stayed away from having sex with people for a long, years, 2, 3 years, 4 years. And then we'd meet somebody who really worked hard to try to get us to feel comfortable about them, right. That we could do it. And then that would be it. And then we'd go back to the same thing, swearing off of it. So that's how it was for some people. Other people just realize that, they ain't gonna do shit for us, so fuck it, and let's live and die, and that's it.
Wow. Scary. So real.
Very much so. Very real. But right now it's a different world, so different.
Yes, shout out to the people, for coming a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Like I'm saying, it's a very different world now where, everybody's, I've looked on websites and I've seen like 1 billion people say, oh, I'm negative on PrEP. How can you be negative on PrEP, babe? Explain that to me. I worked in the community. I've been in a medical center where they tell me if you're on PrEP, you have it, darling. So PrEP means we're going to prep you so that then if it don't get any worse than what you got. And then you're not saying which level do you have, because more than likely you don't have HIV-1. You may have 2 or 3 or 4, depending on your body. So there's more to it than meets the eye, boo.
Ooh. Thank you for the knowledge. There's a lot of children out there who don't have anyone to, give them HIV and AIDS awareness. So, shout out to that.
Yeah, shout out to them, those who still work in the field and those who are working in the field and everything else. I've put in my time. I've done my dues. The check is in the mail. When I worked in HIV and AIDS, I was at a health center doing outreach. I did social work. I also worked with another community service organization doing groups and everything else. So in the fight, in the 80s, 90s, I was there. I did my bit. Shout out to those who are doing it now.
Wow.
See.
Let's jump into another topic real quick.
Please.
You were on Joan Rivers with Willie Ninja Fields, Jenny Livingston, Dorian Corey, Pepper LaBeija, Adrian Extravaganza, and others. You all did a ballroom category demonstration on the Joan Rivers. Tell us about what that was like.
Joan is wonderful. She was wonderful. God bless the dead.
Shout out to Joan Rivers.
She was the first one to say.
Love. She was so funny.
She was so funny.
I
She was
love
the first
her
one to say,
shade.
Freddie, you're such a bitch.